Hi there, I'm Karen Dunn of KMD Productions. From the equipment manufacturers to the engineers to the business people behind the scenes. Over the years, every member of the Pro Audio Corner of the music industry have become family to me, and it's my job to bring the whole eclectic crew together. Each episode, I'll introduce you to one of these characters and open a window into my world of creating community in pro audio. Thanks for tuning in to One and Dunn. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of One and Dunn. We are welcoming back John Mlynczak, who I think is you are probably the person I've had most on this podcast.
You're going to have to, it's called Four and Done for this episode. Four and Still Not Done is the actual name. Welcome to Four and Still Not Done with John Mlynczak. Today, I will be interviewed by Karen Dunn, the one and only. How about
we can do that. I think that's good. So for the few of you who don't know, John is the president and CEO at NAMM, and we meet pretty much every time around this year to talk about what's going to be new and exciting at the NAMM Show in January. So it's been a while since we've seen each other. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you.
I couldn't decide whether to start with this or to end with this, so I'm just going to start with this question.
Well, now you have to start with it because the suspense is killing me.
Okay, so people are always asking questions, right, in podcasts or interviews or whatever, but I'm wondering, what message would you like to get across to the audience that's listening right now?
I get to start with that?
You do.
That's amazing. Wow, so, I think throughout this episode, the message I really want to get across is that NAMM has continued, as it has for many decades, but especially post-pandemic, NAMM has continued to make great strides in focusing on how we serve every audience at the NAMM Show. And there is a place, there is a networking event, there are brands that want to see you, there are exhibitors out there, there are education sessions, there's music, there are opportunities for everyone who's working in any capacity in our industry. So if you've ever thought, I wonder if the NAMM Show is for me, the next question is, well, do you work with musical products? Do you do anything in our industry? Are you working in live sound or recording or anything? Then the answer, if any of that is yes, then yes, the NAMM Show is for you. And we promise there is amazing experiences for you.
Okay, before we dive into NAMM 2026, let's catch up a little bit. Let's talk about the past year since last NAMM. Things have changed a lot. There's been some turmoil in the industry, in the country, in the world. So how is that? What have you been doing at NAMM to help your members and people in the industry cope with what's going on?
Yeah, so this has been it's been actually a great year for NAMM as the association. And because when our industry is in need, and that can be of information, that could be need of a larger voice, need of someone to bring them together, need of a shoulder to cry on, and sometimes all the above. It's one of those moments where there's always things NAMM can do, but there's certain things that only NAMM can do. There's certain things that only an association can do. And when we recognize these opportunities in histories, like the sort of unprecedented tariff whiplash that have happened, and the economic uncertainty, and all just what's been happening over this year, this is where the list of what only NAMM can do gets longer. And so for us as a team and for us as an organization, it's an opportunity for us to really be there for our industry. So yes, we have been working. We have a tariff working group that's been meeting monthly. We've been updating a regular tariff policy article. And this also means getting below the headlines. Everyone's reading the same headlines, and a lot of headlines are, traditional news is about, who can get the most clicks. Right. And sometimes not about where the most facts are. It's about the first to report something. So we've been within 2 days after something breaking, which uses a new executive order, we have worked with our lobby team in DC. We have worked with several trusted partners, other organizations that are all vetting to provide the actual vetted factual information to our members, specifically on how it affects categories of musical instrument products. We adapted our Washington, D.C. fly-in in May to include a tariff working group that met with various members of Congress on specifically on the impact of tariffs and specifically around the impact of tariffs on materials that companies in the United States who are manufacturing, how it impacts them. And we've continued those relationships. We've been the voice of the industry because someone has to, you hear a lot of industries impacted. New York Times has picked up things about music products industry. There's been so many different news sources because when you look at import codes, we are an industry that has a lot of imports.
Right.
And so we've been the voice of the industry. We've been talking to news medias. I've been out there making sure that what our members want stated on behalf of the music products industry is stated. NAMM has signed on to, I've lost count of actually how many letters. And, yes, we send letters to Secretary Lutnick. We send letters out to members of Congress all the time, but we do it in partnership with multiple organizations. We do it in partnership with National Retail Federation on how it impacts retail businesses locally. We do it in partnership with Consumer Technology Association. We do it in partnership with, we've signed on to letters sometimes with hundreds of organizations. And this is what we should be doing to make sure that our elected members of Congress see the impacts on our industry. We've partnered with Peterson Institute. We've partnered with so many different folks to make sure that our industry is seen and heard through this. And we've worked with members on providing factual information and doing working groups so they can understand how to get through it. So it's been a really busy summer. And, over the summer, we had planned on our second annual NAMM Next event in Nashville.
Right.
Of course, in the middle of the turmoil, we decided to pivot and realized that a lot of companies were not in a position to travel. They wanted to be in the office, focused on the day-to-day changes, because that was right in the middle of the first
It was crazy.
escalation, 90-day pause. So we decided to go ahead and provide, an economic update and an international trade update, for free to all NAMM members. And we just said, forget the event, forget the cost of the event. We're just going to pay the speakers to provide online content and give it to everyone because that's what the industry needs right now. And that was a big shift for us to just cancel an event like that. But I actually am really proud of the NAMM team for pulling that off because it showed that, we're willing to give up on a path and pivot when our industry needs us to.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a quick shift too. I mean, not a lot of organizations your size could have done that quickly and made it work.
We turned the battleship 10 degrees in a path that it should have only went 5. Yeah. But it was we all had to lean to one side and really help it, get that angle of turn. Actually, you lean to the other side. That's what actually makes it round. But that's it.
Okay, so in 5 months, a little over 5 months, you're going to be entering your 4th year as the president and CEO of NAMM. So what has been biggest surprise to you being in charge of this organization?
Ooh, a big surprise. Well, surprising. I'm really surprised at how many dogs bark in my head. Like you get close to the 4th year and you just start hearing random dogs, and it's the weirdest thing, Karen. Like I just don't know. I know it's like that's the biggest surprise to me. But my second biggest surprise is, I think for me, just as a learning experience, like things move slower than I want them to. Like I knew there was adaptability, and I know, and there's some areas that we've had to move fast, and it's important. But also, like things move slower, and that's actually really okay because again, we're talk about NAMM's 125th anniversary next year. But there's a reason NAMM's been around for 125 years, and it's because we're slow, because we're methodical, because we take calculated risks and do calculated experiments. And so that's been a really good learning. And there's been cases where I'm like, no, I wanted to move faster. We didn't get everything we want to get done. But now that I have at least a couple years to look back, it's like, well, actually it worked out really, really well where we got to. So that's one of the biggest surprises is that we can be slow and careful. And as much as folks sometimes want something now, the long-term impact of making sure that we're making the best decisions for 10 years from now and not just 10 days or 10 months from now is really impactful in our industry.
So you were talking about the 125-year anniversary. I was going to ask you about that. There's not a lot of organizations that have been around that long. And if they are, it's not necessarily true that they're thriving or flourishing. And NAMM seems to be able to do that, which also brings me to part of my question about NAMM 2026 is, how do you seem to be able to, I think part of why you succeed, other than what you were talking about, is your calculated movements, is that you are able to adapt to change fairly quickly. But you're a big organization. So I'm wondering, like for NAMM 2026, how are you meeting the needs of attendees who will be going there this year? Because I think it's probably there's things that are different than what people wanted. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that's consistent year to year, but special needs this year. How do you meet them? How do you determine what they are, and how do you go from there?
Yeah. Well, the how, and then I'll talk about the what's changed too.
Okay.
But the how we go about it is listen. The reason NAMM's been around for 125 years, and I keep these guys over my shoulder, and that's probably 40 years of it. And then, there's others. Like when you think about why NAMM's been around for 125 years, is because we listen to and we're guided by our own members. The board structure of NAMM, the voting member, we listen to membership. We pick up the phone, and it's been a lot of my last 31 months and 11 days, but who's counting, has been a lot of just pick up the phone and talk to board members, talk to past board members, talk to past chairs. Probably we use all of this, and we're constantly guided because we have constant feedback loop and guidance of our industry. We're able to get like real-time personal stories and data about what our industry needs. So it's not guesswork of, geez, I wonder what John thinks is going to do with NAMM. Mm-hmm. Where does John think it's going to go? Which is the question I always get. It's like, well, any decision I make is based on what our industry is saying it wants. And so I think that's the how, and that's the success recipe. And I think we've just been really lucky at NAMM for a long time and grateful to have strong leaders. We've been lucky to have a structure where the board really does hold us accountable and want to invest. The thing that's been, here's another surprise, which is actually not a surprise, but something I just count this is like a blessing I count every day. Uh-huh. Our industry wants NAMM to be successful. Everybody wants NAMM to be successful. We hear it all the time. And I think one thing that I was just felt blessed with early on when I started was people just coming saying, how can I help you be successful? I'm like, why do you care about me? Like, because NAMM needs to be successful. Like, we need NAMM to be successful. So what do you need? What do you want? How can I help? And even when we get the most frustrated person at NAMM, which is usually because their booth location is not where they want to be. No, that 20 feet over there's got way more traffic than 20 feet over here. But anyway, all good traffic, I promise. But when that has still because they want NAMM to be successful. They want their business to be successful. And so that's really what we take advantage of that. We take advantage of getting that sort of like excitement. And so it leads us to 26. What you'll see in 26, again, we experimented with this 5-day model last year, and it was highly successful. The problem we had last year was we had put a few things on Tuesday and Wednesday just to experiment. They completely sold out. The rooms were at capacity. Again, we set up a satellite viewing room and started video recording and live streaming to the room in like 30 minutes to kind of solve that problem. Kudos to our team for doing that. But this year, we added way more sessions. We added pre-show summits. We have half-day and full-day summits. We focused on one summit that's targeted for each industry segment. So there's a live event summit. There's a financial summit. There's a marketing summit. There's all these different needs and areas. Women of NAMM Summit. The really exciting Music Education Leaders Summit. Live training on Dante's. All kinds of things happening in addition to all the sessions. And we've put those out as newer experiences. So you'll see more of that really targeted, focused education. This year, you'll see a lot more brand experience. So we've listened to our brands, and this basically, brands can be exhibitors. There's interchangeable words here. But, an exhibit, so these brands that are exhibiting, they want to reach our audience across campus. And the brands that are really successful at NAMM do that in a really effective way. Because again, 70,000 people all over Namaheim, my favorite place. Namaheim is actually the city block that we contract. I have dubbed that, if we're paying for it and we're securing it and we're leasing it from the city, because that's how trade shows work. We actually lease all that perimeter, and that's where the fencing, all of that, it's our responsibility, protecting police, all that. So that's Namaheim to me. If like we're paying for it, we're naming it. So that's just my
Wow.
fun part. But so you think about that brand experience though, like we listen to our brands, and so like they want more reach. So we offered more ways for brands to get their brand out there. And some of these are more traditional sponsorship, branding, but also getting brands more deeply engaged in events, partnering closer with offsite events like our new Base Magazine Awards.
Right.
It's now, a NAMM badged event because they're like, hey, we have this thing, we love NAMM, but there's no space in Namaheim because everything's booked. We said, okay, well, we'll do it badge. We'll put you on our roster, a great relationship. And so we have more and more of that going on. And so that's like that brand experience. So as an attendee, you'll feel like and see brands. We're working harder to like connect more artists this year. We have a whole new artist team. It means we actually have 2 artist teams working together because we have so much focus on not just the products in the booths, but who's playing the products. What do they sound like? What do they look like in the hands of an amazing artist? On top of all that, we have all new technology. So we have a brand new NAMM Show app that offers, a planner feature. It's directly connected with the profiles on NAMM.org, which you go to register, and then that connects to the app. So when you open up the app, you can simply put in the email you use to register, and it says, "Hi, Karen, I know you. Go ahead and start planning and saving all your events and figuring out what you want to attend and making your networking appointments and all this stuff." So we're better connecting people. We're better, and also brands are doing a lot more with like their digital presence on the app, because a lot of you walk through the exhibit hall, but you have this device in your hand and you could look up all the brands actually today and start planning and clicking on them, and like brands can put video packages and assets and links of all the new products and things, and that's something that people can start seeing like right now. Like register for NAMM, get the app, start engaging with brands right now,
because they can
plan.
The brands, they can put in their schedule. They have a demo schedule. They have special events.
In-booth events show up on the schedule, and people can like add them to their planner, make your own little NAMM calendar. We're getting ahead earlier because NAMM Show is an experience. And if you're attending NAMM for the first time and you're just gonna like, I'm just going to walk in and figure it out, you are going to be a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get ahead. We had the full education session out earlier. We had the app posted earlier. So what we're really doing now is thinking about the entire experience of the event, from audience to brand, how brands connect to audience, how audience, connect across from registration to attending a summit. Because as an audience member, we are not a show of 70,000 people. And you've heard this line before because this is One and Dunn. We don't have a 70,000 person audience. We have 71,000 person communities. And we have to understand what a bow maker wants, from a live sound commercial speaker company to a microphone company to someone making guitar pedals to amps to boutique instruments to flutes to lighting. And so each of those companies has a different audience that they might want to see.
Right.
And so it's our job to make those connections, and we do that through the way we program the show, and we do that now through better use of technology and data.
Right. So the education sessions, those are Tuesday and Wednesday?
Yeah, well, education happens all 5 days.
But the special days are Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right. So Tuesday and Wednesday, the exhibit hall opens Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Tuesday and Wednesday is only education and networking.
And where are those?
Mostly in the Hilton. I think there's some events in the Marriott too. But those events, there's events for everyone. And then when you go to register for the NAMM Show, in addition to what we call the included education, the free education for anyone with a badge can go to, on top of that, we actually have half-day and full-day summits that people can register for. And those are actually an additional charge because we do serve like lunch at the full-day summit and that type of thing. If we're going to hold people longer, we do actually bring in like higher-level speakers for that. So that additional charge allows us to provide like a next-level experience. So that's a new thing this year of like Tuesday, Wednesday summits. And again, we have a handful, I think 6, maybe 8 we'll offer just as an early experiment. There's lots of education. And then really the magic of the NAMM Show is we actually look community to community. So one of the great things about the app, and if you go on NAMM.org and just look for the schedule, or if you download the app, because it's the same technology powering both now. It's the same experience across desktop, web, Google, Android, iOS. It's all the same. When you sort, you can actually sort by community. You can say, show me everything that the
that's
live
cool.
sound and event community should do, live event community. And what you'll notice, and this is my favorite thing, I play with this tool all the time. If you go on the schedule or in the app and you pick your community, like I'm live event, I'm, pro audio, whatever it is, you click your community, you're not going to see massive overlap. And that's how, and then you're going to say, wait, there's something at 1 o'clock, then something at 2 o'clock, then this. Because we think about this. We think about like a person in this community is going to go through all these things. They're going to a pool party here. They're going to this here. Like we work on that. And that's intentional because we think about like tracks and programs for every community at the NAMM show, which and the matrix is incredible. So like kudos to the NAMM team for like programming all of this.
It's crazy. Okay, so you talked earlier about when you come to the NAMM show for the first time. It is overwhelming. So for the first time attendee, how do you know where to go? What should they do first other than get their badge? How do you not become overwhelmed so it's too much and you don't even want to be there?
Here's what I would do. Register right now, get the app and start looking and just start like ahead. It's not, you're not going to do it in a day. Start looking at the app, sort the schedule by your community and start picking out sessions. I'm one to like start big and refine. Like if I'm going to write a 1-page paper, I'm going to write a 3-page paper and delete my page to 1 page. This is just me. But I would go through and just select everything, start looking at the schedule and understand what's happening, where the events are. So you kind of get a sense of where things are. Start looking at the brands. Go to the exhibitor map and start sorting by category and say, ooh, let me show me the pedals, show me the amps, whatever you're looking for particularly. Start looking at the brands, start interacting with their pages. There's so much you can do to prep. So every time you go to doom scroll on social media, just open up the NAMM app and start planning and prepping. When you get there, I would do a full first day, just the first day, take it all in. Like open up your mind and say, I'm just going to get there. I'm going to take in the whole thing. I'm going to walk the campus. I'm going to walk the floor. I'm going to see where everything is. And then take the plan you made, take the experience you have after kind of, surveying the landscape, and then really do, maximize the next few days. Fully expect that you will come to NAMM with a plan and you will leave with more opportunities that you never knew existed before you got there. And that's okay.
Right.
NAMM is a place where there's so much compact energy. It will take until May to sort out everything that you get in the 5 days of NAMM or the 4 or 3, however long you attend.
Yeah,
Fully expect that no one expects you to take it all in or make all the connections there. Have business cards, have digital business cards, be ready to connect and network at anything. Have your pitch ready. Practice. Like literally, if you're attending NAMM for the first time, whether you're 21 or 61, look in the mirror. Hi, I'm John Mlynczak, President and CEO of NAMM. I'm really interested in blah, 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 and I'd love to meet you and love to follow up after. Practice your pitch because you will be ready to have it at a moment's notice. The cool thing about NAMM and the energy it creates, and Karen, you know this, and you've actually been such an integral part of this and all the networking and work that you do around the NAMM show. So I'm preaching to the choir here. Everyone at NAMM comes completely open hearts and minds, ready to meet someone they haven't met before and explore any opportunity without prejudice. That's the beauty of the energy. So you're in an environment where you could walk up to literally anyone and say, hi, I'm John. I work with so-and-so. I do this. Who are you? Tell me more about you. And that person will say, oh, they'll have their pitch.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And so then pass business card, carry power tip, carry a pen or pencil with you. When someone hands you a card or you do a digital card, take a note. I promise you, you're going to have 20 other opportunities in the next hour you're going to forget. So grab it, jot down a quick note, and for follow-up, voice memos are always good. A lot of people will just do different voice memos. Have a plan of a system where you could quickly tag that note and give yourself, and fully over the course of NAMM, pretty much collect enough information and notes for yourself that you will sort it all out over the next 3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
And just that's what you're there to do. Collect as much as you can, process later. You're collecting data, you're taking notes, and it's gonna propel your career and your energy and your business for the next 5 months.
Follow up too.
Follow up. And that's the cool thing. I used to, I did a lot of business at NAMM. It was integral for my career and the businesses I was at. It was always impressive, like who you email right away Monday after NAMM and who emails me. It's like, oh, they were serious.
Yeah.
And so that sort of quick email follow up, super important.
So NAMM's a lot about music. It's all about music, right? So do we have stages going at the Hilton and the Marriott still?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have all the bands we're about to send the announcement. Bands and NAMM will be announced soon. They've all been notified. There's amazing music. Yamaha's doing a whole, Friday will be an evening with, so it'll be a bunch of guests. Yamaha's announced some, not all, but
is there anybody you can announce? This will not come out until the beginning of January. Is there any you can tell me that you could say?
Because it's not official until the ink is signed, so I'd hate to have
Come on, John.
But Yamaha's announced. I mean, we just announced today Billy Corgan for Tech Awards.
That's great.
That one. That's an incredible. Actually, that PR is getting a super amount of buzz. We have a lot of A-list artists this year all around the show, and it's a really exciting moment. And what I love about the artists at the NAMM Show and our actual, again, hiring 2 artist relations partners to manage these is that, again, brands want to create brand experiences. So we've always had artists at the NAMM Show, but now more brands are really interested in getting their artist to get out there and show their product. So it's even challenging us. We just had an idea that came to us this week, and we're like, we can't pull it off for 26, but we're definitely doing that in 27.
Yeah.
Because it's because brands are challenging us for hey, I have an artist and I want them to do a thing, but it's kind of a product demo, but it's also kind of a showcase, but it's also a concert. Do you have a place for it? We're like, no, but you make a point. We should have a place for this. Right. So it's going to be really exciting year. I'm really pumped.
And can I say on a personal note regarding the new registration system? If you want to go to the Tech Awards, the way you get your tech tickets is you register, and it's an add-on when you're registering, and you can buy your tickets there because people aren't sure where to go. So that was we're trying to streamline as much as possible the experience. And so traditionally it was a separate ticketing system, and we were trying to have a ticket list at the door. It's all your badge, which is actually cool because all you have to do is show up and we scan your badge and we know because you selected it at registration. There's no separate ticket or anything, but it's all integrated in registration. I'll also point out that even if you've already registered and you didn't select Tech Awards, but you want to go, or any other of the options, you can go right back through the same process and edit your registration at any time. So if you're already registered and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go add this thing right now, or you didn't do the donation to the NAMM Foundation and you're feeling guilty that you wouldn't give $5 to support kids in music, if that guilt is crushing you, then you can simply go back just the same way you registered. Log in at NAMM.org, hit badge registration. It'll take you to a page to say, edit my registration, and you can go through and add anything you want, and you can give that small donation to support kids in music so you don't feel crippling guilt for the rest of your life. That would be bad. Okay, so I know the Tech Awards are the most important award show that we have during NAMM Week, but do you want to talk about the other ones that we have going on?
You're not biased at all.
No.
We love all of our award shows equally.
Not all of us, but...
Yeah. So NAMM, the official awards at the NAMM Show, we'll kind of go in order. So Wednesday, we have the retail awards, newly branded, newly expanded.
And that was Dealer of the Year. What was it before?
It was Top 100 Dealer. 100. And we still have Top 100 list of dealers. We still have category awards. We've added 2 categories this year. We'll add more next year. We'll have exciting announcements at that event. Great. But as that event has expanded, really we want that night and that show to be about all retailers. So yes, we're awarding the top 100, but we will have, we have a good problem right now that we're almost sold out of that event with retailers wanting to attend. So it's a celebration of retail, which is strategic because all the retailers there Wednesday night being celebrated, getting ideas, they're fired up and they hit the floor Thursday morning. Thursday night, we have, what is it, the Tech Awards? Is that how you say it? Tech Awards.
Followed
an
by
amazing award show. And we also, later that evening, have the Base Magazine Awards that, is an off-site event, but it is a NAMM badged event, and that's a partnership we have. And so you can do both. And then Friday, we have She Rocks. They've announced their guests, amazing program, so She Rocks Awards. And then Saturday, we have Parnelli Awards, last but certainly not least. We're excited about the Parnelli Awards on Saturday. So we have pretty consistent, and NAMM goes all the way through. There's music all the way till 1 a.m. on Saturday night. There's events. We have a rocking schedule.
Now, you have your breakfast session every morning. Are there any special guests you could talk about or topics you could share with us?
Yeah, so Thursday morning is the Industry Insights session, and that's really my opportunity to address the industry. And also, when you think about a topic each year. So this year, it's the 125th anniversary year. So my opening, my address, my monologue, whatever you want to call it, really is going to focus on why has NAMM been here for 125 years when many other organizations and industries haven't? What is the secret sauce? So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about resiliency. We're going to talk about an industry that cares about growth and has made the right decisions long term, and what that looks like in the past 10 months, what that looks like in the past 10 years, in the past 100 years. And we're going to use those lessons. Then we're going to take those lessons, and I'm going to bring on some different companies, and I can't announce who yet because we haven't confirmed them all at this point in December. But we're going to talk about resiliency. Like, we are resilient. What can we learn about other companies that have had to adapt and change? So I'm looking at companies that have been around 50, 60, 70, 100 years, and we're going to have some really cool conversations about, like, hey, here's what NAMM's done to be resilient. What have you done to be resilient?
Right.
How have we worked together to react and change and adapt to all of this? And it really is going to be like a message of the next 125 years, we're going to be just fine because we know the formula. We don't know what we're going to have to plug into the formula. We don't know the numbers that go in the equation, but we know the equation. Listen, learn, adapt. Listen, learn, adapt. So it'll be a fun session. There'll be bacon. There better be bacon. Otherwise, my jokes are totally not going to land. And Friday morning, we normally bring in a guest speaker that comes in. So we have a guest speaker, marketing, the event like that. Saturday, we're returning to the Grand Rally of Music Education. That is the event that unfortunately turned away 500 people last year because we met capacity very quickly. It's just an incredible celebration of why we do what we do as an industry. We're all there to give back. And so again, those events are all like highly sought after. The Grand Rally for Music Education this year will feature, we're bringing a grantee from New Orleans, the Roots of Music. It's an amazing young group that's won so many awards and been featured in so many different ways. We're bringing, I think, 9 students from New Orleans in. Wow. They're a new grantee of the NAMM Foundation. We'll talk about, our new grant process and our 57 organizations we're supporting now, up from 32 the year before. And we're going to feature these students. We're going to have Victor Wooten perform with the students. We're going to have Chad Smith there talking about his new foundation, celebrating an artist at the level of Chad Smith. He might even play a tune, and we'll maybe another surprise artist will pop in and do something. We're going to see if we do that. But that event's really, really special. And if you're wondering, geez, there's long breakfast lines to these amazing events, and how can I just guarantee a spot? I would be willing to pay anything to guarantee a spot. The good news is in registration, after you select your Tech Award ticket, you'll also be presented with the option to now have an advanced pass. We've opened up a new option for people who want to do a fast lane with guaranteed seat, VIP entrance. And so we've opened that up. I think it's like $50. You can get all 3 for $125. And we reserve seats. You're the first to enter. You're guaranteed. So we're trying to give people a faster opportunity to get in and get their seat and, help support these amazing events too. And I wanted to call it the Breck Fast Egg Express Lane, but marketing shut me down. They say that I can only be punny internally, is apparently.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I don't know why they shut that idea down. I thought it was good.
Okay, we won't go there right now.
I just want to see the Karen Dunn
Oh
face.
my God, it's just
Also,
so bad.
forgive me, you're catching me at daylight savings o'clock in California, so I'm losing my sunshine, but I'll get it back
Okay,
soon.
well, we're almost done. And all the morning sessions are at the Hilton, correct?
Yes, at the Hilton Level 2.
Okay. Okay, my last question, because your lighting is really interesting right now. There you go. What are you looking forward to most at NAMM this year? Oh, well, next year.
This year, there's a new campaign around the whole show called NAMM Gives Back. And it'll be a little logo. You'll see this, produced throughout. And it's a reminder to the whole industry that, yes, we're here to do business. Yes, you're here to propel your year. But everything that happens is reinvested into the NAMM Foundation and reinvested into the industry. And I think it's a good reminder as to why NAMM's been around so long, because we exist and to grow the industry. And we put our money where our mouth is every single year. And I think that's really important, highlighting that campaign. And it's a good year at 125 years to celebrate that. And so just having more people, you'll see donors recognized. There'll be a NAMM Foundation kiosk in the member center. It's just a new touch. As you see during registration, we're letting people add donations to the NAMM Foundation. We're talking about rounding up at the beer line, which is something I've always wanted to see happen for NAMM Foundation. But it's about funding, because every dollar of the NAMM Foundation is immediately invested into more grantees and more programs. I mean, it's 100% goes back to the industry.
Right.
But it's not just about that. It's about just this culture it creates of reminding everyone we're here. We've been here for 125 years because we care about growing an industry, and that's the purpose. And I just want people to feel that throughout the campus and just be reminded that that's why we're so resilient, and that's why people want NAMM to be so successful.
Okay, great answer. I'm looking forward to it. And everything I've heard so far is pointing towards a very successful, very big show. So I'm excited about going, and I hope that we get a record attendance in January.
Me too. I'm tracking. So far, we're up on registration on attendance. So as far as the metrics we're tracking, so we're hopeful. It's early. Get your badge now.
Yes.
You know what's a crazy stat? Over 50% of attendees won't register until January. Every year.
It makes
So
sense
every year
to me.
during December, I'm looking at stats being like, geez, I wonder if anyone's going to come.
Yep.
And then in January, people wake up after New Year's and go, I didn't get my NAMM badge. Register early.
Yeah, I
Register early. It helps us so much because we're ready for you.
Yeah.
We have it all prepared. Do not show up without having already registered.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk about this, and I look forward to seeing you at NAMM.
And I'll see you at the Tech Awards.
That's right.